Hello, dear traveler. Welcome back to the peaceful sanctuary of tonight, a place where all the worries and chaotic bustles of the world outside must stop right at the door. Before we begin our journey together, deep into the heart of the ancient desert, walking across the velvety dunes to listen to the story of the 3 T's of the nomadic Tuareg, I want you to grant yourself a moment of complete and profound stillness. Find yourself the most comfortable position on your soft bed. You may lie on your back with your arms resting gently by your sides, or turn to one side as long as you feel your body is perfectly and completely supported. Night has fallen thickly, and this is the moment you are allowed to shed every responsibility, every role you played today, to return to the purest essence of who you are. The nomads of the Sahara Desert have a beautiful saying: the sand never tries to hold on to footprints, and the wind never tries to hold on to clouds. Everything that comes and goes in this world is like a natural river, gentle and free. Your sleep tonight is just the same. It is not a destination to be reached through effort, but a peaceful harbor that arrives naturally when your soul is entirely empty and light. Before we drift deeper into that serene state, if you cherish the tranquil moments this channel brings you each night, please take a second to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Your presence and companionship are the warm fire that keeps this space alive. For now, close your eyes, soften your brow, and let me walk with you through each slow, rhythmic breath. Let us practice a small grounding exercise together to draw your wandering mind back into your body at this very moment. Take a deep, gentle breath in through your nose, feeling the cool, fresh air fill your chest, expanding your lungs completely. Hold that breath for just a few short beats, feeling the vibrant presence of life within you. Then, slowly, very slowly, exhale through your mouth, letting it out like a long sigh of relief, releasing all the excess energy and lingering tensions of a long day. Continue to maintain this natural rhythm. Inhale deeply, bringing peace and stillness into every single cell. Exhale softly, letting go of all anxieties and thoughts about tomorrow. Now, gently direct your awareness to the muscles on your face. Let your forehead smooth out, completely flat and calm, like the surface of a motionless lake. Your eyebrows, which often knit together when you think, should now be released, allowing them to part naturally. The muscles around your eyes, your eyelids, let them close gently and restfully, without a single ounce of pressure. You do not need to see anything at this moment. The surrounding darkness is a warm velvet blanket protecting you. Soften your jaw, leaving your teeth slightly parted, your lips completely relaxed. A sensation of lightness and ease begins to ripple from the crown of your head, washing over your face, then slowly trickling down to your neck and shoulders. Your shoulders, which carry so many burdens day after day, can now sink deeply into the mattress. Feel the weight of your body being fully supported by the bed. You no longer need to brace yourself, to hold on to anything. Let this relaxation flow down your arms, passing through your elbows, your wrists, and melting into each fingertip. Your fingers are completely relaxed, curling slightly in a natural way. No longer gripping, no longer clinging. All mechanical movements have ceased. Your entire upper body, from your chest to your abdomen, rises and falls gently with each steady breath. With every exhale, you feel yourself sinking deeper, safer, and more at peace. This soothing wave of energy continues to glide down to your hips, your thighs, your knees, and your calves. The legs that carried you through so many paths today have finally arrived at their time for total rest. Feel the muscles in your legs unwind, becoming soft and warm. The relaxation flows down to your heels, the soles of your feet, and reaches the tip of every toe. Your entire body right now, from head to toe, rests in a state of absolute release. You might feel as though your body is becoming weightless, like a feather drifting in space. Or you may feel a deep, heavy groundedness merging with the bed, completely steady and secure. The space around you is so quiet now. All the noisy sounds of the city, the honking cars, the hurried footsteps have faded into the distance, giving way to a vast, boundless silence. In that silence, only the steady rhythm of your breath remains, blending with my calm, slow voice. You are here, completely safe, completely free. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go, and no one to please at this moment. There is only you and the eternal peace of the night. Allow your mind to rest, letting your thoughts drift away, like water slipping through open fingers. If a thought happens to arise, you do not need to chase it away, nor do you need to dwell on it. Simply acknowledge it and gently let it pass, just as the desert sand glides through a night breeze. You are doing wonderfully. Keep maintaining this state of relaxation, inhaling peace and exhaling serenity. Your body is ready. Your mind is ready to step into the world of legendary tales, where time stands still and space opens a doorway leading straight to the deepest peace of your soul. Let yourself loosen a bit more. Sink a little deeper. As your body completely relaxes and sinks into the gentle support of your bed, let your mind slowly open a gateway of space, leaving behind the concrete walls, leaving behind the suffocating air of the brightly lit city. I will take you to a pristine, ancient land where the beauty of nature possesses an absolute healing power. This is the heart of the great Sahara Desert, in the legendary mountains of Akakis. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of a vast, infinite space, with no beginning and no end. In the distance, the colossal sand dunes, standing tall like golden waves of time, which glowed with a fiery red during sunset, have now shifted into a deep, velvety purple, mystical and soft under the moonlight. The moonlight in the desert is unlike anything you have ever seen. It is not obscured by dust or towering buildings, but is crystal clear and pure, casting a gentle silver light upon the sand, caressing and embracing the entire landscape. You take soft, aimless steps upon the fine sand, The sand here is remarkably fine, like glass dust, polished over millions of years. Each time your foot touches the ground, the sand yields gently, warm with the residual heat gifted by the daytime sun, soothing the soles of your feet in a comforting way. A night breeze sweeps past, bringing the crisp, cool air characteristic of the desert night. The breeze brushes against your skin, slips through your hair, bringing a feeling of refreshment and absolute cleanliness, like a stream of cool water, washing away all the dust and weariness left in your mind. You look up at the sky. The desert night sky unfolds like an infinite ocean. The Milky Way stretches wide, arching across the void like a tapestry of black velvet, studded with millions upon millions of twinkling stars. The stars are brilliant, crisp, and so close that it feels as though you could reach out and touch each shimmering point of light. The space is so silent and still that you can hear the whisper of the universe, the voice of the stars telling tales of thousands of years ago, and the sound of fine sand gently sliding down from the crest of a nearby dune, like a soft sigh of relief from Mother Earth. Walking along the cool, silvery light of the moon, you see ahead, at the center of a small oasis named Ghat, a kaima tent pitched firmly. The tent is crafted from expertly hand-stitched goatskin, dyed a warm red that stands out against the deep purple sand under the moon. Beside the kaima tent, a small campfire dances and crackles. The fire is not too large. It is just enough to cast a warm orange glow, comforting a small corner of the desert and dispelling the chill that is gradually enveloping the space. The orange of the fire, the red of the goatskin tent, the purple of the sand, and the indigo blue of the night sky blend together, creating an authentic local landscape that is incredibly warm, safe, and sacred. Sitting by the flickering fire are two figures draped in the flowing, characteristic indigo blue robes of the Tuareg people. There is old Ibrahim, a wise elder with deep eyes that hold an ancient treasury of desert wisdom, and his 18-year-old grandson, the young Anis. Tonight is a truly special night, a night of transition, the night before Anis steps into manhood. The space around the campfire becomes solemn, yet filled with love, preparing for the most profound spiritual ritual of the tribe. The ritual of the 3 T's. You gently approach the fire and sit down on a corner of the soft woven wool carpet, completely invisible, but able to feel everything vividly. You smell the dry wood burning richly, feeling the comfortable warmth from the fire spreading into your body. All your senses are now awakened in the gentlest way. You feel entirely secure, sheltered by the kaima tent, by the presence of wise souls, and by the grand embrace of the Sahara. Let the warmth of the fire soothe your soul. Let the soft crackling of the wood guide your mind deeper into this magical space, ready to listen to the main story about to unfold. In the quiet expanse of the Ghat Oasis, beneath the vast starry sky of the Tadrat Akakas Mountains, time seemed to stand still. There was only the crackling of the fire and the desert wind blowing through the ancient rocky cliffs. Tonight, before the monumental day of his life, the young Anis sat cross-legged by the campfire, his eyes never leaving his grandfather's every movement. He knew that what was about to happen was not just a daily routine, but a lesson passed down through generations, a spiritual treasure that every Tuareg man must engrave in his heart. Before officially stepping into the world of free adults, old Ibrahim gently adjusted his loose indigo blue robe, his slender hands stained with the natural indigo hues bleeding from the woven fabric, a testament to a lifetime bonded with the desert. Slowly lifted the small copper teapot resting on the glowing embers. Every movement of the old man exuded an extraordinary calmness and deliberation, just like the rhythm of the desert itself. Unhurried, unprompted, drifting serenely with the flow of time. Anis sat silently beside him. He watched the tiny sparks rise and vanish into the endless night. The space was so quiet that the grandfather and grandson could hear the fine sand gently sliding down from the crest of a nearby dune. The silence of the desert night did not bring a sense of loneliness or fear. On the contrary, it was like a vast, embracing hug, causing the human soul to naturally lower its guard and drop the agitations of a long day of travel. Old Ibrahim lifted the copper teapot high, slowly pouring the boiling water into a small glass cup placed on the ground. The stream of water flowed in a perfect curve, creating a layer of pure white foam, soft as sea foam on the surface of the tea. This high pouring technique required absolute skill and concentration, ensuring the foam layer was thick and even to keep the flavors locked inside. The rich aroma of green tea blended with the cool, sweet fragrance of fresh mint leaves began to diffuse into the space, warming the bone-chilling night air. The scent drifted over the campfire, lingering around the two men, bringing an exquisitely soothing sensation. He handed the first cup of tea to Anis. The Tagelmust veil covering half of the old man's face revealed only his deep eyes, overflowing with tolerance and wisdom. He spoke softly, his voice deep and warm like an echo from the ancient earth. Anis, my son, take your first sip of this tea. Our Tuareg people say the first cup is as bitter as life. But do you know why we need this bitterness to begin a quiet night? Anis cradled the glass cup with both hands. The heat from the glass warmed his fingers, which were trembling slightly from the nocturnal chill. He took a small sip. The intense bitterness of the green tea and the sharpness of the mint lingered on the tip of his tongue. The biting taste caused the 18-year-old boy, who had not experienced many storms in life, to frown slightly. He shook his head gently. Grandfather, I do not fully understand. Tomorrow I will be a man. I thought I was supposed to learn how to seek sweet things. Old Ibrahim smiled through his eyes. His eyes shimmered, reflecting the rich orange glow of the fire. He also lifted his cup, drinking a slow sip, savoring the bitter taste with utter serenity, and then said, This desert, Anis, burns the skin by day and freezes the soul by night. Storms can rise at any moment, wiping away every footprint we just strain to make. The life of a traveler is just the same. always filled with arduous paths, losses, and things that do not go as wished. That is the bitterness. The old man reached out his hand, pointing toward the ancient rocky walls of the Tadrat Akakas Mountains, standing tall in the darkness. Look over there. Those ancient rock paintings have stood there for thousands of years. They have witnessed countless generations of Tuareg, born and laid to rest beneath the sand. Those who do not understand the desert will resent the heat, fear the cold, and collapse from exhaustion in the sandstorms. But we, the Tuareg, do not resent. We accept the bitterness of the desert as a part of nature. When you learn to welcome the hardships of life with a calm mind, without grievance, without avoidance, then that bitterness can no longer cause you pain. It becomes a nutrient, making your soul resilient and steadfast. Anis looked down at the cup of tea in his hand. The white foam was still dissolving. He felt the bitterness on his tongue begin to soften, yielding to a refreshing, crisp sensation that spread down his throat. His grandfather's teaching was like a gentle breeze, softly blowing away the vague anxieties about the harshness of the world outside. He took a deep breath, feeling the wisdom of the words sink into his heart, gently washing away the worries of youth on the threshold of adulthood. After both had drained their first cup of tea, old Ibrahim continued his tea-making ritual. This time, he added a little sugar to the pot to sweeten the brew. The sound of the silver spoon clinking against the copper teapot produced crisp, rhythmic, and joyful notes in the empty night. The sound was like a tiny court melody, brightening the stillness of the desert night. From behind the goatskin kaima tent, the figure of a woman stepped out. She moved gracefully and fluidly, appearing under the bright stars. It was Anis's grandmother, carrying a sense of quiet dignity. She wore a long black robe, embroidered with exquisite threads, her hair carefully concealed beneath a soft veil, but her face was revealed, radiant under the flickering firelight, glowing with a soft warmth. In her hands was the imzad, a sacred musical instrument, played exclusively by Tuareg women. Across the vast sands, the one-stringed instrument was fashioned from half a dried gourd, meticulously covered in goatskin, with a bow made of horsehair. Her appearance brought a gentle warmth, providing comfort to the night, a perfect balance to the deeply philosophical space of the two men. She sat down on the woven carpet next to the campfire, smiled gently at Anis, and softly rested the bow upon the string. A deep, resonant, melodious sound arose, filling the quiet air. The music of the imzad was not lively or tumultuous. It was soft, drawn out, swaying with every breath of the desert wind. The melody was like a romantic whisper, drifting through the dark, singing of love, of the peace of nomadic tents beneath the shade of date palms. Wherever the music traveled, the space seemed to become even more tranquil, even more relaxed as the melody floated over the dunes. Its cadence wove into the mind, smoothing out every wrinkle of exhaustion, calming the hurried beating of the heart, bringing deep rest. Just at that moment, old Ibrahim poured the second cup of tea. The foam this time was thicker, rising gently to the rim, the sweet aroma of sugar and mint tightly bound together, creating a truly alluring and comforting fragrance floating in the chill. He handed the cup to Anis and said softly, "The second cup is as sweet as love. This is the moment you look up at the sky, Anis." Anis raised his eyes toward the ocean of twinkling stars above his head. The music of his grandmother still tenderly carried his soul. "Do you see the steed constellation and the 3 aligned stars of the hunter?" Old Ibrahim pointed to the sky, guiding his young eyes. Other travelers look at the stars to find a way out of the desert because they fear this place and its endless empty spaces. But we, the Tuareg, look at the constellations as old friends. We are never lost because wherever there are stars, that place is home. Love and connection are your eternal compass, guiding you through the dark. The old man placed a hand on his grandson's shoulder, the warmth from his palm transmitting through the indigo robe. The sweetness of this life does not lie in the things you accumulate, but rather in the precious things you cherish deep in your heart. It is the embrace of your parents, comforting you in times of need. The sound of your grandmother's imzad in the quiet night. The piece of tegela bread, baked in hot ashes, broken in half to be shared after a day of walking through sandstorms. And it is also the gratitude for every precious drop of camel milk, which you drink each morning to sustain your life. The camel has gathered every bit of moisture from the dry desert grass to nourish us and keep our people alive on the sand. Cherish these small things, and your life will always be filled with sweetness. Even if you are standing in the middle of the most arid land of the Sahara. Anis took a sip of the second tea, feeling its warmth. The rich, warm sweetness spread through his body, calming his mind, blending with the soothing notes of the gentle imzad. He experienced a happiness that was incredibly simple, yet enduring. Sweetness was not standing on the peak of glory, but knowing one is loved, knowing one belongs to a family, belonging to a tribe, and being comforted by heaven and earth. He felt a pure, profound, native energy of love enveloping him. He looked at his grandmother, deeply absorbed in playing the instrument, and at his grandfather, watching with gentle eyes. All distance of time, all fear of the future, seemed to vanish completely. Now only this moment remained, a complete and warm moment, a profoundly peaceful moment by the Oasis campfire. The music of the imzad grew fainter, softer, and slowly melted into the wind, leaving a silence as smooth as velvet stretching across the desert. The campfire had also diminished, burning low into the night, leaving only glowing orange embers that radiated a warm, dim, gentle light. The surrounding space seemed to drape downward, preparing to receive the deepest part of the late night. Old Ibrahim slowly brewed the final pot of tea. This time, he poured a lot of water, filling the pot, retaining only a faint hint of the green tea and mint. He added no sugar nor did he brew it thick. The stream of tea poured out looked crystal clear beneath the moonlight, pure and transparent, like fresh spring water. He handed the third cup to Anis, his voice dropping to a whisper. His words were soft as the movement of sand. And this is the final cup, Anis. The third cup is as gentle as death, or rather, the absolute stillness of sleep wrapping around the soul. It no longer holds the bitterness of life, nor the sweetness of love. It is only purity, lightness, and serenity. Anis received the cup, holding it gently with both hands. The heat of the glass was now just right, comfortably warm. He took a slow sip, tasting the light liquid. Indeed, the tea was very light, its flavor subtle, leaving only a cool hint of mint at the back of his tongue. It brought a strange sense of relief, a deep calm, causing all his senses to unwind and relax completely. He felt his eyelids grow heavy, drooping in the darkness, and a soothing wave of drowsiness began to wash over him. "Anis," old Ibrahim said, his voice fading slightly, his eyes looking straight into the heavy, sleepy eyes of his grandson. "Our Tuareg people call themselves Imashagan, meaning the free people. Tomorrow, when you wear this Tagelmust veil for the first time, you will officially be an Imashagan, a true man of the desert. But I want you to understand the soul of those two words. Freedom." The old man leaned down, scooping up a handful of fine sand, taking it from beneath his feet where they sat, and slowly opened his fingers, letting the grains fall. The sand trickled through the gaps, returning to the earth, leaving no trace upon his palm, completely clean. Look, if you try to tightly grasp the sand in your hand, it will spill out and hurt your hand from the pressure. But if you open your palm, the sand remains with you, and you can touch the entire desert, feeling its vastness. The mindset of a free person is just like that. We travel through this desert, following the ancient paths. We pitch our kaima tents with goat skin and woven carpets, and then we dismantle them to migrate, moving with the wind. We do not own any sand dune stretching into the horizon. We do not own any date palm growing by the water, and we do not even own this oasis where we rest tonight. The old man paused for a moment, letting the silence grow, letting his words sink deep into Anis's drifting mind. Because we own nothing, the Tuareg never fear losing anything. The desert is not our property to be bought and sold. The desert is the tolerant mother who nurtures us. When you no longer cling to material things or look for wealth, no longer try to hold on to what does not belong to you. Your soul will be as light as a gust of wind. That is absolute freedom, the greatest gift of all. Tonight, let go of all your thoughts, your desires, your anxieties about the days ahead. Let your soul be empty and pure like this third cup of tea. Become one with the stillness of the Sahara. Anis drank the last drop of tea, swallowing the clear liquid. He felt his body become completely weightless, losing all form, like a date palm leaf, floating along the night breeze. His grandfather's teachings were no longer distant philosophies. They had transformed into a sensation of peace and relaxation, flowing through his veins, calming his entire being. He no longer felt the pressure of growing up so soon, no longer worried about tomorrow's journeys across the dunes. He only knew that he was sheltered by the great desert, sheltered by his lineage, and by this vast sky of stars. Anis's grandmother stood up gently, moving without a sound, went into the tent, and brought out a soft blanket, woven from camel hair, draping it over the boy. The warm blanket, carrying the comforting scent of home, the scent of the mobile sanctuary, wrapped around his small frame. Anis slowly lay down on the carpet beside the dying fire. His head rested on the smooth, warm sand beneath the blanket. The ground had preserved the heat of the day, comforting him. Looking through the final embers of the fire fading away, he saw the tall, steadfast silhouette of his grandfather, sitting guard over his sleep, watching through the darkness. His indigo blue robe merged into the color of the night, standing like an impenetrable fortress, protecting his world. The colossal sand dunes outside still lay motionless, guarding the peace of the Ghat Oasis under the moon. The Milky Way above continued to shed its gentle light, caressing the human mind, leading it toward dreams. Anis closed his eyes, letting the darkness take over. In his mind now, there was only the soothing indigo blue, the color of the Tegel musk veil, soft and protective, the clean scent of mint from the third cup of tea, and a feeling of absolute freedom and deep relief. He did not need to hold on to anything at all. He only needed to let go and drift into sleep. The humane message of the story is simple yet deep. Through the traditional 3 T's of the Saharan Tuareg, the story opens a doorway of consciousness to our minds regarding the beautiful art of living in peace. The life of each of us is a long journey across the desert of existence with its many paths, where the bitterness of trials and the sweetness of love and connection always coexist together. However, ultimate peace and true happiness do not lie in fleeing the bitterness or desperately grasping the sweetness. It truly appears with the third cup of tea, the symbol of complete letting go and surrender. When we learn to open our palms, releasing all attachment and the desire to possess transient things that fade away, only then does our soul attain absolute freedom like the Imashagan. Let all worries pass like sand sliding through fingers. For when the mind is unburdened, we will find peace. We will find an eternal oasis of peace right within our own souls. The story of the 3 T's of the nomadic Tuareg has drawn to a close, but its peaceful echo still lingers in the dark, hovering and gently wrapping around the space at this hour. Night has deepened, and the Sahara Desert is now entirely submerged in a state of absolute silence, stretching forever. Every boundary between reality and dream is beginning to fade. Between your body and the surrounding space seems to begin softening, interweaving, and merging together. in an exquisite and gentle manner, soothing your mind. Look, the small campfire beside the Kaima tent has diminished significantly, burning down to the earth. The bright red flames that danced earlier have gone, now given way to glowing orange embers, resting in the ash, radiating a warm, dim, and mystical light. The fire fades away, plunging deeper into stillness with every breath of the night. As the air cools, the tall, steadfast silhouette of old Ibrahim watching over you, draped in his indigo robe and sitting guard by the fire, also begins to blur within your mind, losing its shape. The image of the mysterious Tagelmust veil covering his face, the warm red goatskin tint standing in the dark, or the one-stringed imzad of the grandmother resting now, all are slowly transforming into a serene energy, a cool and deep indigo blue filling the void, gently spreading and filling your consciousness. You feel your body right now possesses no weight at all. It is completely weightless, floating in the dark, like a piece of down or a soft feather, a date palm leaf floating along the desert night breeze. The crisp air of the Tadrat Akakis Mountains softly sweeps past, lifting away any remaining thoughts or calculations, clearing your mind completely, carrying them far away into the dark night, vanishing into the infinite void above the Milky Way. You no longer feel the weight of your tired hands, nor do you feel the presence of your heavy legs. Your entire body feels as though it is melting away, becoming one with the fine, warm sand, the sand that preserved the daytime sun holding its heat, becoming one with the vast, embracing darkness of the desert. The full moon above continues to pour its gentle silver light, caressing and comforting your mind, bringing sweet rest. The stars twinkling on the black velvet tapestry of the sky seem to be fading, turning into a soft glow, turning into shimmering points of light, distant and small, softly flashing to the slow beating of your heart. You are standing on the threshold of wakefulness and deep sleep, a land of absolute freedom where you can rest, where there is no worry, no desire, no past, and no future to disturb your mind. Everything around you is blurring, fading away into nothing. The silence of the Sahara is soaking deep into your every cell, bringing a stillness that calms your whole being. You do not need to try to remember anything from the story, nor do you need to ponder the philosophy of the 3 T's. Let it all automatically vanish, leaving your mind clean, like the handful of sand flowing through Ibrahim's fingers. Only the feeling of absolute safety remains, holding you tight, the feeling of being completely sheltered and deeply loved. Your consciousness is stepping back, letting go of control, making room for a pure, empty, and serene space. Loosen completely, letting all tension fade away. Let yourself drift freely into this comfortable space and prepare to enter the eternal sleep of the late night. Now, the space completely drifts toward the shadows of the night. The silence of the Sahara Desert has now wrapped around everything, fully and absolutely, leaving no corner untouched. The fire has died out, leaving only ash, leaving only a gentle warmth buried deep into the earth. The colossal sand dunes outside still lay motionless, guarding the peace of the Ghat Oasis. Through the hours, the Milky Way above continues to shed its gentle light, caressing and protecting your sleep, keeping you safe. You have completely let go of all attachments, all thoughts that troubled your mind during the day, just like the nomad opening his palm to let the sand flow. Your soul, right now, is as clear and serene as the third cup of tea, pure and still. Let yourself sink down deeply, deeply into the dark, into the soft comfort of your bed, feeling its embrace. You are protected. You are sheltered from the world by the purest, most peaceful energy surrounding you. Your breathing now is completely natural, steady and slow, rising and falling with a rhythmic ease, like the breath of the ancient earth moving in the dark. With each exhalation, your awareness blurs a bit more. Your body becomes a bit lighter, losing its shape, sinking gradually into the unknown realm, the realm of sweet dreams and beautiful visions. There is no sound, there is no image to see. There is only emptiness, lightness, and eternal peace. When the dawn of the new day wakes up, hours from now, when you open your eyes to the morning light, with a body full of energy and a fresh mind, after this deep sleep that restored your strength, please remember to come back to the video when you can, to leave a like or a gentle comment, sharing your feelings with the rest of the world, or simply send a wish of good night to the others, to the other travelers in our community who seek rest. Your return and interaction are the immense happiness that helps this channel grow stronger every single night. But that is the story of tomorrow morning, far away, when the sun rises radiantly over the horizon. For now, your only task is to sleep. Let sleep come as naturally as the night falls, as sand gliding through the night breeze, soft and quiet. Let all your senses rest completely, turning off the world. You are completely free to dream now. You are completely at peace, safe in the dark. In your mind now, there is only the color blue, the soothing indigo blue of the Tagelmust Vale, the clean scent of mint lingering on your tongue, and a feeling of absolute freedom and deep relief. The boy Anis has fallen fast asleep beside the dead fire, and so have you, drifting away. Loosen up, let the bed hold you. Loosen completely into the dark. Drift into sleep, leaving all behind. Sleep very deeply into the night. Good night, dear traveler. Rest your eyes. Good night. Sleep well. Good night.